guys, so I am finally getting around to doing my Q&A about the baby. So I have my old phone here to look at the questions, and unfortunately my camera dipped out on me. So hopefully the quality is okay on this when I upload it. So let's get started. Okay. The first question is, do you have any names picked out yet? And what are any smells that gross you out now that you're pregnant? That's 2 questions. So the name we just announced today actually, and that is Ezreal Cade. And I think I'm going to make a video explaining where we got the name, what it means, and all things emotional, because I can't do that now because I'll start crying. Second part of the question, the only smell I think that has gotten to me is the smell of frying oil. So anytime we've gone to like a sports game or anywhere that they would be like frying stuff like corn dogs and french fries and things like that, the smell of the oil, especially if it's old or burning, it really gets to me. Okay. Are you going to have a boy or a girl? And did you get morning sickness? 2 again. We're having a boy. We just announced that a few days ago. So if you didn't see that, go check out our gender reveal and leave it some love. First boy after 3 girls. It's kind of exciting and kind of making me nervous. The morning sickness has not been bad. This has probably been the easiest pregnancy so far as morning sickness goes. Pretty much from the beginning up until about 11-ish weeks, I did feel nauseous during the day, like all day long, and it would get worse in the evenings. But I never actually like got sick. So that's definitely better than any other pregnancy. Even though the last 2 were relatively easy in the morning sickness department, Jaden was not easy. I was sick with her constantly, all day, every day. At the slightest drop of a hat, I would throw up. I even threw up in labor with her. So it's nice to get a little break from the really bad morning sickness. Okay, so what do the girls think about a new addition to the family? So the girls are super excited, more so than I thought they would be, just because I think they're older, so they understand a little bit more this time around. But even Story is super excited, and I definitely didn't expect her to be, because she's like a super mama's baby. No one gets in her lap but me. But she is also a super mother hen, so I think that's going to help in this scenario. When we went to the ultrasound to find out the gender and they announced that it was a boy, the first thing she said, and she squealed and she's like, "Can we buy the baby an outfit?" So she's like super, super excited, and that definitely makes me happy. Do you have any really weird cravings during pregnancy? So none of my cravings have been super weird, except I guess raw meat. Raw red meat specifically. It just looks so good. When I walk by it, I just want to like grab it out of the package and eat it just like that, which is obviously really gross. But my normal cravings have been pho soup and sushi and all the fresh fruits. Oh my goodness, I want fresh fruits all the time, and I cannot get enough of them. I will eat like multiple oranges a day and whatever I can get my hands on. I would say that my really unhealthy cravings are Slim Jims, which again is like a meat thing, and completely awful for you. And I probably crave Oreo McFlurries and cave way too often with those, because I mean, come on, those are not healthy. The next question is, can you tell us about your birth plan, and maybe as a little plus how it was with your 3 girls, like a little throwback? Okay, so I'm definitely planning on this one to be far different than my other 3, and I can't say that my other 3 were horrible, because they were all great experiences. But now that I am older and wiser and more educated, I would have done things far differently. So the first two were inductions for various reasons. The first reason was more warranted than the second reason, but Story, I went into labor naturally, early, at almost 38 weeks, and they were all hospital births. I got epidurals with all of them. The first one took amazingly, and I pretty much was laughing and joking with my dad while I was also pushing her out, and she kind of came out like Superman, like she put her fist out first and then she crowned, so that was not the greatest recovery. But Zoe was pretty perfect as far as delivery goes, even though they shut off the epidural when it was time to push, which I had no idea they did. So I definitely got to experience the ring of fire, which was no fun at all. But her recovery was much, much better. And with Story, I got all the way to about 8 centimeters naturally, and she got wedged in my hips at a really odd angle. She was kind of like diagonal, and so we used the yoga ball. I tried like dancing and moving around trying to unwedge her because it was creating some quite strong lightning pains up my back, and I mentally caved after 22 hours of labor, and I finally asked them for an epidural, and they came and they gave me the epidural, and it didn't work. So then I was like panicking, in panic mode, because I was wigging out, you know, and they came and they gave me a second one, and I began to push anyways because I was too far along really for them to do it. And as she was like halfway out, it began to kick in. So it was the most pointless thing ever, and I definitely was kind of upset with myself for caving in the end. I kind of just freaked out, you know? So I'm pretty much removing all possibility of me having a mental breakdown this time around by doing a home birth. Now I won't have the option. So I'm definitely going into it more prepared, more researched, and more ready to have a natural birth, just surrounded by my family and friends and my midwife team. So I'm super excited. Someone asked if we were going to do a birth tub, and yes, we are going to do a birth tub. Hopefully I can deliver in the water, but I kind of have a slight feeling I might get annoyed by being hot and wet while trying to give birth, so we'll see if it works out. So the next is the same exact question, what's your birth plan? But then also asks how I deal with stretch marks. So I'm not going to lie, I am pretty genetically blessed as far as skin resiliency goes. I did get stretch marks, but they're not bad. You kind of have to examine my stomach to see them because they've faded to like a white silvery, and they're kind of like lightning streaks. I think they're cool personally. I love stretch marks, but I know that's not the common feeling about them. But in order to prevent them from getting worse, the only things I did was try to take in more water, and also I did nightly circular massages, so like going into the skin circularly when you massage with vitamin E oil. I would break open the capsules and rub that on my belly in all the stretch mark prone areas, and also cocoa butter. And this time around I will add a few more natural things, maybe like some rosehip oil, and I think someone said frankincense is really good for your skin, and definitely lots and lots of vitamin E and hydration. Okay, next question. Okay, next question asks me if I was hoping to have another girl. So this is kind of actually funny because when I got pregnant, when we were trying and when I got pregnant, I did hope for another girl, but it was kind of like a selfish hope, as far as I already know how to parent girls. I already know, like I'm 8 years into parenting girls and I have 3 of them. So I feel like not necessarily a pro, but I've got this. Like I know what I'm doing and it's easy. But early on, I definitely knew it was a boy because, I mean, I pretty much knew his name almost right away. And I kind of just had that mother's intuition. Like I was dead set that it was a boy. And of course I am super thrilled about that. What have you done to help you with throwing up and nausea during your pregnancy? So like I said, this pregnancy was not bad as far as throwing up. I didn't throw up at all. But as far as nausea goes, peppermint oil is safe when you're early pregnant, and also ginger. So I had ginger capsules and raw ginger that I would kind of like put between my teeth for a few minutes just to get that feeling to go away a little bit. I also eat lots of small healthy meals instead of huge heavy meals. That seems to help a lot, and definitely keeping a snack by your bed for late at night or early in the morning right when you wake up so you don't have an empty stomach. How is it being a mom of 3 and almost 4? How do you balance everything, and how did you get into being a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling mom? Okay, so this is definitely a multifaceted question, and to be quick about it, I love being a mom. I love being a mom of so many. Obviously, I don't see 3 as so many, but a lot of the world does for some reason. 4 is even more exciting. I would have a whole house load if Thomas let me. So I love it. I think it's my calling to be a mom, so I kind of dive in head first. So even on the hard days and I feel like kind of like selling them to the gypsies, at the end of the day, I just know it's where I'm supposed to be, and homeschooling definitely is like a natural extension of that. Because who better than to teach your child than you? You know them the best, you know how they learn the best. So we love it. Is Black Dress Baby Bump Friday going to be a continuing trend through the entire pregnancy? Okay, so I definitely want Little Black Dress Baby Bump Friday to continue for every Friday throughout the pregnancy. Problem is, I'm super forgetful, and sometimes I forget what day it is. And also, I'm running out of dresses. So I need to go thrifting to find some dresses so I don't run out, because I sorely underestimated how many Fridays are in a pregnancy. But yes, I'm going to try my best to make it an every Friday thing. Let's see. Are you planning on laying down on your back during delivery or other more natural alternatives? So I definitely do not want to lay on my back for delivery. I laid on my back for the other 3 just because that's what's allowed in a hospital. So this time around, I'm hoping to be in the birth tub, probably squatting or kneeling or something similar. If the birth tub does not work out, then I will probably do something similar like near my bed, or I really don't know. I kind of just want to be present in the moment and do what feels right and what feels natural to my body, and kind of just listen to what it tells me. And usually gravity is your friend when getting out a baby. And I also kind of want to experience the fetal ejection reflex instead of like pushing with all your might, because your body will naturally push baby out if you let it. So that is my intention. How do you successfully have a baby or toddler with facial piercings? Honestly, the only time it was ever an issue was during nursing, because you're holding baby right here, and then their hands naturally want to go to your face, and like, but it was never a huge deal. They're not really sensitive. I'm more so worried about them like ripping them out. But usually I have hoops in my nostrils so that you can't rip them out. I got my vertical array, I think when I was nursing Story still, and I just kind of like held her hand, like I would put my thumb in the palm of her hand and hold it like this and hold it to my chest, or let her play with a necklace so she had something to twiddle with, and not pull on my face. Okay. What are your kids' names? So my oldest daughter is Jaden, the next one is Zoe, the next one is Story, and this one in my belly is Ezreal. Oh my goodness, this is not a question, but the next comment told me that I had Satan's eyebrows, so shout out to you. Okay. Have you ever thought about a water birth? And it's something I've always wanted to do when I have a baby. So yeah, I did say that earlier in my birth plan. I think that I do intend to have a water birth if all goes well. I think that is it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this first Q&A about baby number 7. And I think my next video will probably be about his name. A lot of people were interested in hearing how he came up with that, which I didn't come up with it. It was given to me, so I will explain that in the next video. And thank you so much for all your excitement. It helps us be more excited than we ever thought possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening, and I hope you learned a lot. Got all your curiosities out of the way. If you're not following me on Instagram, please go do that. And if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, please go do that. Go follow me everywhere. Bye, guys.